If you were attacked by sharks flying out of a tornado, would you know how to survive? Because I know I fucking wouldn't. In this video, we're gonna be looking at all the bad parts of the notoriously bad Sharknado film and seeing if there was anything the characters could have done differently to potentially survive. Our movie begins somewhere in the ocean where we see a small fishing crew gathering sharks for the purpose of harvesting their fins for shark fin soup. We then go to the cabin of the boat, where the pirate captain gives a bowl of nice shark fin soup to the Asian buyer. The buyer tastes the soup and comments that it's good but not great, so he's only willing to pay $500,000 for all the sharks. The pirate then gets extremely angry and threatens the buyer with the gun, forcing him to raise the price to $1 million. Fortunately, the buyer is actually quite smart and accepts the deal, because no amount of money can make up for a bullet into the head. As the money is handed over, the pirate starts to say some weird things.
We shouldn't be afraid of the sharks. They are the ones that should be afraid of us.
Like, what the fuck was the point of saying that? The person sitting in front of him literally eats sharks for dinner. And things get even more bizarre when a mysterious storm washes over the boat and sharks start flying around and eating the crew, giving the Asian businessman a chance to escape. However, he doesn't get far because he's on a fucking boat and him and the captain get into a standoff, which the Asian man loses and he's consumed by a shark. Seconds later, the entire boat is sucked up into a tornado and the captain is eaten by sharks inside the tornado. Now, I'm not even 100% sure where I should get started on this, but I'm pretty sure sharks can't breathe in a tornado. You know, because tornadoes don't exactly always have water in them, you know? The thing that fish need. As for everyone inside the boat, I'm not sure how they would have survived, but I do know if they stayed in the cabin, they at least wouldn't get eaten by sharks. The movie then cuts to a sunny beach in California, where we see a surfer named Finn having a swag time. However, a storm appears overhead and seems to ruin the mood. Luckily for Finn, his fun is not over because he's approached by a man in a jet ski who offers him a ride out to the waves so he can hit it one last time before the storm rolls in. We then zoom over to a nearby bar where we see a server named Nova, commenting to an old customer about the hurricane coming to the area. The old man reassures her that she probably doesn't have to worry about Finn because he's a great surfer, and then proceeds to sexually assault her. Listen, it sounds like I'm making stuff up, but this is the actual movie. Back at the beach, the storm seems to be getting worse, but surfers continue to head out anyways, including this chick who goes out to have a chat with Finn in the ocean. However, their lovely conversation is cut short when they both spot a shark, and the girl starts frantically swimming away as fast as she possibly can. This results in her attracting the attention of the shark and getting eaten almost immediately. Now, she might have been able to survive if she had just followed WikiHow's guide on how to survive a shark. The #1 rule is to not panic and thrash around, because this will just draw attention to you and make you seem like prey for the shark. So if she had stayed calm, maybe the shark would have went for someone else. The man on the jet ski then goes to save Finn, but he just sits there like a fucking idiot and lets the shark attack him. Finn is able to save him by launching his surfboard into the shark, which somehow causes the shark to let go. Now, personally, I would have just shoved the other guy off the jet ski and taken it for myself, while the other guy's blood draws in all the other sharks to the area. But this guy's nice, so he ends up bringing the jet ski dude to the shore where he ends up being saved. The crew later convene at a beachside bar where Finn makes a call to his divorced wife and tries to get her and his daughter to a safer location because there's a hurricane coming. But he's saying all of this as he's literally at the side of the beach when the hurricane is hitting. Like, come on man, if you really wanted to convince them that the hurricane was dangerous, maybe don't do it from the fucking beach where the hurricane is gonna hit first. Before he can finish the call, the hurricane makes landfall and causes giant waves to wash over the bar and sharks to start flying in and start eating people. Luckily, the main crew is able to fight off these sharks and escape outside, where they're promptly attacked by, you guessed it, even more sharks. Luckily, the people in this movie are actually really good at fighting off the sharks, maybe because the sharks look like CGI dogs, but they're able to score pretty sick kills, including this one where they explode a shark using a gunshot to the gas chamber. This is actually a nod to the original Jaws film, whose shark was also blown up in a very similar fashion. I thought the movie wasn't gonna get any more strange until the hurricane causes a nearby Ferris wheel to break loose, and instead of falling over like most Ferris wheels would, it starts rolling towards the escaping people, crushing many in its path. First off, I've studied a lot of physics, and I certainly know that this isn't possible, and secondly, why the fuck isn't anyone just moving to the side of the wheel? Like, this guy's death is so unnecessary, he could've just moved one step to the left and survived. Seconds later, the hurricane just sort of goes away. Like most hurricanes last for around 12 hours, but this one lasting for a total of 3 minutes and having flying sharks should probably concern you. And also, you don't know if your bar has flying shark coverage. The crew then hop into a car and start driving towards higher ground. Although I think a car probably is the fastest method of travel, driving on a Californian highway in heavy rain probably isn't a great idea. The heavy traffic and terrible drivers will probably kill you before the sharks do. On the highway, I legitimately thought I was hallucinating when I was watching this part, but why the fuck are there so many people just standing outside of their car when there's a hurricane around them? Do they think God will notice them and give them a free lift to Colorado or something? Meanwhile, the people who are inside the car decide that they need to get out and save the people who are outside the car, directly putting themselves in harm's way. Honestly, if I were in this situation, I would have just let them die. For example, one of the dumb decisions is when the old man decides to get out of his car and save a dog who's trapped inside another car. He's able to free the dog, but then just starts standing still in the middle of the highway as if he mentally started lagging, and then he gets engulfed by the jaws of a flying shark. The crew then ascend up the mountains to a mansion where Finn's wife lives. At first, she doesn't even let them in, but after Nova shoots the shark out of the air with a shotgun, she finally gives in. Inside, no one in the family wants to leave the house, despite there being obvious signs of flooding and flying sharks in the area, until sharks actually start breaking in. And honestly, someone tell me the following scene isn't scripted by a porn director.
Are you kidding? Sharks in the swimming pool is impossible.
Like, that's honestly way too similar to the "I'm not at the beach" scene.
I see you don't have a lifeguard here at your beach.
I'm not at the beach, this is a bathtub.
Okay, enough of that. To get on with the film, the boyfriend is attacked by the shark that broke into the house, and everyone attempts to free him. But wait, what is this I see? The guy is holding the baseball bat fucking backwards. Unsurprisingly, the group's attempts to save the husband was unsuccessful. They leave the boyfriend's body behind and head out in the car. However, they see a school bus underneath them, and good guy Finn wants to see if there's any people to save inside. Inside, there was a bunch of kids, so he creates a grappling system to bring up the kids to the bridge one by one. Which, if you ask me, is extremely risky, because the high wind speeds could have easily blown off one of these kids from the unstable grappling system into the shark-infested waters below. Instead, what I would do is cut one of the kids up and throw their body into the water, attracting all the sharks and allowing all the other kids to swim to safety. After saving the kids, the crew can finally take a break at a convenience store, where they see on TV that there's 3 large sharknadoes wreaking havoc across California. So they decide they want to kill these tornadoes. How would you do that, you might ask? By flying a helicopter really close to the tornadoes and throwing bombs at them. What the fuck is this movie, and how could someone not get fired for thinking up an idea like this? With their plan in mind, Finn brings everyone to his brother's hangar, and they decide the best vehicle for this high wind mission is a helicopter, one of the planes that gets messed up the most by high wind. Well played. And using propane bottles, they also prepare a series of bombs to use against the tornadoes. So finally, the crew decides to get started, with Finn's brother and Nova heading up to fight the tornadoes in the helicopter, while Finn does some damage control on the ground. Things seem to work out great in the air because I guess in this movie, universe, bombs can explode tornadoes. Meanwhile, on the ground, Finn is doing some questionable stuff while people die in very hilarious ways. Finn decides that, why not just blow up this fucking pool? And keep in mind, there was no sharks inside, he just decided to blow it up. Back up in the sky, things aren't going so great because the brother is forced to crash land the helicopter because a shark flew into it before they could destroy the final tornado. But luckily, good guy Finn's got his back and drives his Jeep full of explosives into the tornado, killing it. But wait, the movie's not over yet, because as all the tornado gets destroyed, the giant mama shark jumps towards Finn, and Finn is forced to jump inside of the shark with his chainsaw. I mean, I guess, I don't really see why you couldn't have just avoided the shark and then let it die due to lack of oxygen on land. But luckily, Finn doesn't die, and he's able to cut himself out of the shark using the chainsaw. And at the end of the movie, Finn gets together with his wife, his brother gets with Nova, so the ending is actually pretty good for all characters that survived. However, the ending isn't that good for me, because my eyes are literally bleeding from having to watch such a shitty movie. I'm probably not even gonna get that many views on this video, because the movie was so shit that it makes this video shit. But hey, as usual, thank you so much for stopping by on my channel. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit that subscribe button so you can catch my future videos. But for now, that's it from me. This is Andrew from Obsessive Film signing out. Hope you all have a great rest of your day.
I'm on the move, can't stop me if you try. Coasting on our